Over here on Facebook. There we go. Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, you don't know what it is I'm doing here. I am a love coach for women who want to stay and reconcile and heal and be together after infidelity. Yes, after infidelity. You have been cheated on, but you still love this person. You still feel like your life is going to be built with them. You are going to have the happily ever after with them. I know how that feels. I get that because I have experienced it myself. Me and my husband went through a period where he was cheating for about 4 good years in our relationship, but he has been better. He has been without fault for the last 16 years. So, he has more than what quadrupled the time that he acted up that with the times that he has been better. And I want to teach you about how to get to the better. I know that it seems like he should just go ahead and try and do everything that he can to get you to better, but it is unfortunate that he's not going to be able to do that. Okay, mine started acting better when I started acting better. When I started down the healing path, he followed me down the healing path. And so that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to know how to do this, how to be the hero of this story, how to be your own heroine here and actually save this relationship, save your sanity. You can do it all by yourself. You don't need him at all to help you do it. I can teach you how. All right. So let me make sure I can see everybody. If you're here with me live, you know what I want. Go ahead and give me some likes, give me some love. Let the algorithm know you enjoy seeing me. And if you're here with me on the replay, hashtag replay, let me know that you stopped by a little bit later after I was off. All right. All righty, y'all. I see everything. Everything's looking good on my screens. Hopefully, everything works the way it's supposed to today. All right. So, first things first, I'm always going to teach you things that are going to help you get over the trauma of this. That's what's standing in your way right now. That is the thing that is giving you the hardest time as far as actually forgiving, letting down the walls. It is the fact that this is a trauma and we have to heal from traumas in order to keep on moving. All right. A lot of us are walking around, most people are walking around hurt. We're walking around traumatized. We're walking around carrying loads that none of us know anything about. We just know that there are other people in the world. And yes, we imagine that they have problems, but everybody, just about everybody, is just as broken. Okay. Everybody's got their own issues, everybody's got their problems. Okay. You're not going to be able to fix the thing that is going on inside yourself with something that they can do. It feels unfair. I understand that. It seems like they should be the one to fix everything because they were the one that hurt you. I understand that completely. However, it does not work like that. We're all walking around trying to heal ourselves. If we can just work on that, healing ourselves, getting to better places within ourselves, a lot of our relationships will heal. When you change the things around you. So I am going to ask you to work on the mindset, work on the beating back of the trauma response, and work on the love. And I'm here to tell you that that's the path out of the forest. Okay. That's the path out of the dark, dark woods is to worry about your own accountability, dealing with your own symptoms of trauma right now. If you are doing that, then you are showing an example. You're being an avatar for your mate as to how to do that, how to handle their own stuff internally instead of lashing out and doing stupid things like cheating. You are teaching them that, you are showing them the healing path. The healing path works for everybody. All right. It works for everyone. So I want you to be on this path. I want you to be focused on what you can do to start changing your mind after this trauma. All right. First things first, you're always going to do every single time we get together. I'm going to remind you of it. Do your deep breathing. Oh, for crying out loud. People, you got to start there. Okay. We're just going to start there and Just even if you don't think of any other thing that I have told you tonight, in your futures, in your dealings with your honey, going forward, trying to heal, remember this: do your deep breathing. Okay, your brain and your body have gone through this trauma, and what they are doing is sending out SOS signals to your body saying, hey, we still feel like we're in danger. We have been hurt so much emotionally, it feels like real life or death situations here. We're scared. And it keeps sending those messages into your body, and your body keeps reacting to it. You keep being triggered. You keep arguing with them, and you can't get to finally feeling like you can forgive them and that you can move on. It's difficult. So what we've got to do is fight back against that physical thing that is happening. It is a physical thing that is happening when we've been traumatized. Our brains actually send out hormones, send out adrenaline, get our body to change when we are anxious, when we've been hurt. So what we've got to do is take back over the controls. Our brain just can't keep on making us feel like we are in danger and we need to fight or run. All right. The simplest way to take back the controls, to tell your body that you are actually safe and nothing is wrong, is for you to do your deep breathing. It is the opposite of the breathing that you do when you're freaking out. So if you do that slow, steady, deep inhale and exhale, you are teaching your brain, I am safe. I know you think that there is a danger. I know I got my heart a little broken, but I'm not in danger now. And it starts bringing that level of anxiety down every day. Okay. So we do 4-7-8 breathing. You can do whatever pattern strikes your fancy. It does not matter to me as long as you are doing it. All right. 5 times a day. So that you're spacing it out through the day. You are remembering to do it on a regular basis, and you are steadily pushing down that anxiety level instead of letting it jack up all day and then trying to do the deep breathing at night before you go to bed. You're going to be super anxious. We're going to keep on pushing it during the day, keeping it at a manageable level instead of letting it jack all the way up because we've spent so much time not doing our deep breathing. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense to you. For our deep breathing, we're going to do 4-7-8. What we're going to do is blow out. Try and exhale as much of the carbon dioxide that is in your lungs as you can. When you are under this fight or flight response, you sip the air and you don't fully exhale. So that act of fully exhaling and getting rid of that excess carbon dioxide in your lungs is going to help right off the bat. You're going to start to feel better almost immediately. Then you're going to inhale through your nose if you can for a count of 4. You're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. And then you're going to blow out like you're blowing out birthday candles for a count of 8. All right. And we're going to count down. We're going to do it 3 times together. I will count you down. All right. First things first, we're going to blow out like we're blowing out birthday candles. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. Good job. Thank you for doing your deep breathing. You need to be doing that, though, on a regular basis. You need to be doing it consistently so that you are telling your brain what you need it to do. That is what is going to work the best to get you out of the funk that you have been in, is telling your brain what you need it to do now instead of freaking out. Okay? Second thing that we're always going to talk about every single time we get together is doing your journaling. I need you to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? The people that are watching me on Facebook right now, have you been doing your journaling? Put in the comments if you've been doing your journaling or not. And let me know if it helps or not. I'm trying to tell you, it is an excellent practice to start with, okay? If you are trying to heal your brain, you need some notes. You need some data to work with, and your journal is going to be that data. It is going to be that you can go back and pick out patterns by putting your date and your time on each page. You can pick out patterns. You can see, hey, this triggers me, or hey, this soothes me. And hey, I didn't have a whole entire week worth of triggers. I almost forgot that this happened this week. You need that written down so that you can go back through it, so that the questions that you've already asked have been answered. You can go back and research them. You will have the information you need to heal. It will help you along that path. Do your date and your time. All right. First thing, when you first start writing, usually I want you to do 5 minutes. Okay. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. But whenever you can sit down and write, make sure you're doing your date and your time. And then you're going to do your level of anxiety. Your level of anxiety is 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. Everything is wonderful. All is right with the world. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. Okay. That is the level of a 10. If you are not out of control of yourself, you're not at a 10. Do not write that down. Okay. But when you're sitting there writing, you write your level of anxiety at the top, then you write it at the bottom after you've finished. You will notice in just 5 minutes of journaling, you will change that number. It can usually go from like 7 to a 6, 6 to a 5. It is an effective way to start to manage your feelings, bring that anxiety down, calm yourself. It works very well. Okay. So if you do that consistently, your brain will know that your journal is where you put the important stuff. And then the thoughts that keep spinning around in your mind over and over again, you write them down in your journal, and your brain says, "Oh, that's the special book. That's the book where she puts things that are important. We don't have to keep reminding her. She's got it in the special book." Okay? It will help tremendously letting go of things, letting go of those terrible thoughts. You can get any kind of journal. This one came from like Five Below. It can fit in your pocket. That's excellent to have on you during the day if you need to sit down and write some stuff. And this one came from the Dollar Tree. It's stuff. And it's just a plain old plain paper journal, not even any lines to this one. And I think this one came from the Dollar Tree too, but this one is a guided journal. It's a Love Yourself journal. It's got space to write, but it says, goals, turn your dreams into plans, reason I'm grateful, reason I'm grateful for my body, mind, and spirit today. That's very deep right there. It doesn't matter what you use. I don't care what kind of journal you use. I don't care what kind of pen you use, as long as you are putting pen to paper. Okay. That is all I care about. Do the journaling. Doesn't matter how, just do it, okay? If you are doing it consistently, at least writing it at least once a day, I suggest twice, but at least once a day, you'll be able to come back later on, understand things that you are seeing for the second time, but you don't even remember that you're seeing them for the second time because the trauma affects your brain, okay? It is an important thing to do. Write this stuff down. Use your journal, okay? Everybody with me on that? Have everybody been doing their journaling? Let me know if you've been doing your journaling and it's helpful for you. Let me know. All right. The next thing that we're always going to talk about every single time we get together is you developing an attitude of gratitude. Okay. I want you to be looking for things to be grateful for. So I always do Thirsty Thursday in my group, in the Love After Cheating group. If you are from Instagram and you're not in my Love After Cheating group, go get in my Love After Cheating group on Facebook. Okay, go do it, because that is where I do most of my coaching. I spend a lot of time in that group. Okay, but If you can just start to think about the positive things in the midst of this trauma, you're going to start changing the way that your brain is working. Right now, your brain is working off of, I have been hurt and I need to protect myself from being hurt again. And so that brings up all sorts of fearful thoughts. Your brain is on total 100% fear speech at this point. It only wants to tell you bad stuff. It only wants to notice bad stuff. That will make you overlook good things. So if you have a practice of meeting your brain every day and saying, hey, wait, good things are still happening in our life. I still have my health. I still have my wonderful home. I still have good friends. I still have the internet. Whatever it is that you are grateful for, your brain can't argue with that. You have gratitude because you have things. You possess some stuff. And your brain can't say, well, that's not real, the way that it says your feelings aren't real. So it will try to tell you that you don't really have these things. These things aren't really important. It's not really what you think it is. But it can't convince you, and you can't convince your brain that these things are just not important. It has to agree with you about things that you are grateful for. And so it begrudgingly pulls itself out of that negative perspective and is like, okay, fine. Yes, I am excited that we do have the internet. All right, fine. It'll begrudgingly agree with you, but it will agree with you. And as you start to look for the things to be grateful for, you are training your brain that it is not supposed to look for the negative things. That's not what we want it to do. We want it to look for those positive things. We want it to look for the things that we can be grateful for. All right. So, anybody got any good ones? Anything good happening in your lives this week? I have been hearing good news this week from a lot of people. Not everybody, but I've been hearing good news this week. People's relationships are starting to coalesce and form, and people are getting on the healing path and feeling like they're getting to a better place. So I'm feeling pretty good this week. I'm feeling like I'm doing my job this week. All right. But if you've got anything that you are grateful for, go ahead and post it in the comments so that I can share it and we can talk about it. All right. Because I want to hear good stuff happening to you. I think that that is wonderful that you have good things happening to you. All righty. Let's see. Last thing that I'm always going to talk to you about every time we get together. Seriously, come here. Come close. I want you to stop asking all those questions. Okay? I know it's not what you want to do. I completely understand, but that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell you what you need to do, not what you want to do. What you want to do is just go along with whatever your brain and your body are telling you as you are going through this trauma. But that's not effective. It's not effective for healing. It's not effective for reconciling this relationship. So I want you to do something a little bit different. I want you to stop asking all those questions. I want you to stop hurting yourself with those answers, okay? None of those questions are going to give you the closure that you want. That's not where closure comes from. Closure comes from right in here. It does not come from another person. Nobody can come up to you with a silver platter and say, here is some closure for you. Please take this closure and use it. Nobody can do that for you. It just will not happen. So your brain telling you over and over and over again that you have to have the answers to these questions in order to have some closure, it is lying to you. Your brain is lying. Okay. It does that when you are traumatized. It wants to ask a whole bunch of questions. It is a reflex. It is a trauma response. Your brain says, if I have all of the answers, then this pain will never occur again. And that's just not even true. You can get all of the answers. You can get all the answers you can gather, and you still can't prevent this from happening to you again. Okay. I know a lot of the things that we do as we're trying to heal are all about preventing this from happening again. You don't have that capability. That is not something we as human beings can do. Things happen to us sometimes. It is an unfortunate side effect of being a human being. Things will happen to us and we'll just have to deal. I am saying that if it happens to you again, you will survive, you will thrive, you will be the queen that you are, even if that happens. Okay? But asking all the questions is not going to get you prepared for it. It is not going to make anything different. It is not going to make you feel like you are safe. Okay? If all the questions worked, you wouldn't keep asking the questions. If they actually worked to keep you safe, they made you feel like, yes, I feel like I am safe, I understand everything right now, then you wouldn't keep asking questions. You wouldn't always have another question. It is because it is a trauma response. It feels very strong. You feel like you have to do it. I have to ask these questions. It is a trick of your brain and your body trying to make you push away and isolate from this person so that you do not heal and get closer together. All right. Does that make sense to everybody? Your brain is doing that on purpose. Okay. Now, that all of that having been said, I fully understand that it is a trauma response. Sometimes your brain does itch to ask a question instead of all the questions that you want to ask. Didn't you think about me? Did you take your ring off? What positions did you have sex with her in? Instead of those questions, I got better questions. Okay. This is the and THEAND, the and. This is an excellent deck. This is the Healing Edition by the Skin Deep. You can go on Amazon, just put in THEAND. It will pop right up. It's about $30. There's 199 questions, okay? 199 of them that are all about healing, about reconnecting, about establishing that again. So instead of asking the questions that you want to ask that are very destructive, that don't give you any satisfaction, that don't help you to heal in any way, shape, or form, get this, try this. So I'll give you a few questions just so you can see what I'm talking about, because I want you to get this. I don't want you to keep on asking the questions that you've been asking. I want you to get this deck, start asking these questions, okay? What would you say is your initial reaction to conflict? Now, see, you can find out some stuff about this conflict between you without asking about the conflict between you. You can just ask a simple question about how they feel in a conflict. That's good information to have. So what would you say is your initial reaction to conflict? All right. So then if they're like, yeah, I get mad automatically, and you see a mad face, that's just their initial reaction. That's how they react all the time. All right, now you don't have to take that so seriously. Now you don't have to be so stressed that they got the mad face on when some conflict comes up. That's how they react. And so we move past it, and then we can actually start to solve the conflict instead of getting upset with the person's mad face. All right, does that make sense? Hope it does. Another question. This one says, what do you think life is teaching me right now? And what do you recommend I do about it? Excellent question. Isn't that better than the questions you want to ask? Truth be told, tell the truth. Put it in the comments. Isn't that a better question than the ones you want to ask? The ones you want to ask are all about pain, right? You are going to be sorrowful if you hear the answers to those questions. These are much better questions. These are about healing the connection between you. What do you think life is teaching me right now? And what do you recommend I do about it? What is your recommendation? If you see me struggling with something life is throwing at me, then what do you think I should do? Interesting question. Then this one says, what's one experience you wish we shared but didn't? And why? Why is that That's a very interesting question. Wouldn't you want to know the answer to that? An experience that they wish the two of you had shared together, but you weren't able to do it. You hadn't done it yet. Wouldn't you like to know what that shared experience would be? Isn't that a better question? I want you to just be on the best questions that you can possibly ask if you're going to ask a question. So this week, I want you to practice it. Has anybody been practicing that's been with me this week or next or last week? Did you practice not asking any questions? It is super helpful as you are trying to heal this traumatic thing that happened to your brain. Your brain is throwing out a million questions a minute. It keeps asking all these questions. If you stop yourself from asking questions, anything that's got a question mark attached to the end of it, don't ask it. Stop your brain from doing that. Shut your mouth. Do not allow it to happen. It changes the way your brain is working. Your brain it will keep on coming up with questions. It will give you question after question after question if you allow it to just go ahead and keep going with that. If you put a stop to the questions and don't allow it to continue on with that, it has to stop. It has to stay stuck for a little while. You will change the way your brain is working after this trauma. And it's important to do. It really is. You got to take control over the controls. Your brain is on autopilot right now. We got to take back the plane. Okay? That makes sense to everybody? That's a lot of what I'm going to always tell you about is how to break free of this trauma reaction. It is sucky. It is. It sucks. It makes you feel bad. It makes you feel like you're just the worst woman in the whole wide world. But this happens to most women. All right. This happened to Beyonce. Okay. Right. This happened to some of the most beautiful, talented, amazing women on the planet, not to mention rich, okay? We're not any different. There is no difference between any of us. It was never our fault. It was something that was going on inside the minds of our mates. We've got to let that go and then maybe just have a little bit of compassion for the fact that they were hurting bad enough that this seemed like a good idea. Nobody hurts the person that they love because they're feeling good. All right. Nobody feels like, oh, I'm feeling wonderful about myself. Let me go cheat. That's not how that works. Okay. You have to be feeling kind of low to say, hey, cheating on my mate might make me feel a little bit better than this. You got to be in the dirt. You got to be way down. Okay. So if you're thinking that making that much of a complex decision in your life is going to make your life better, you're not totally in your right mind. All right. So you can give a little bit of compassion for being in that position, for hurting that much. You're hurting that much. You know that you would do damn near anything right now to get this pain to go away, right? That's how they were feeling too. All right. All right. Got all the good stuff out of the basics out of the way. Now it's time for questions. You know, I want to hear from you. Let me know what questions you have. All right. And also, I want you to sign up for my dreams formula. Okay. Go get a copy. All right. Totally free. Totally easy to get. Go in Instagram, go to my link tree, go to my bio, click that first link. It is how to heal and reconcile after infidelity. Same thing over here on Facebook. It is in the pinned comments. It's all over the page. How to heal and reconcile after infidelity. That is my dreams formula guide. It is the map. Okay. You are in the deep, dark woods. You are lost. You are trying to get home. Your honey is out here in the deep, dark woods too. I need you to understand that you're the hero here. If you start walking the healing path, you will find your way out of the woods. You will lead him out of the woods. You will get home together. Okay? I know that's what you want to do. I know that's why you're here talking to me. So get my guide. So you got a copy with you. If you start to veer off the path, if things start going wrong between the two of you, chances are it is one of the stages that we are talking about in the dreams formula. It is either your decision has gotten shaky, or you're starting to listen to the fear speech, or you have dropped all your compassion for his why he did this. You're mad about it more than trying to feel some compassion. Um, you're not allowing that healing to happen. You're taking off your rings. You're not sleeping in the same bed. You're holding back, putting a wall up between the two of you. Um, M is managing those triggers. So if you are falling for the trigger, if you're trying to make them not do the trigger so that it doesn't bother you, you're trying to run from it, you will not succeed. You have to manage those triggers on your own, deal with your own feelings. Can't avoid them, can't run from them. And seeking the support, if you are getting support from people who are very negative about your prospects of staying together, who say things like, once a cheater, always a cheater, if you're getting support from that, you're not going to win this. You are not going to have a good time. You are not going to get healed and feel like you have reconciled and forgiven. You're not going to, because their fear is playing off your fear and it just keeps going back and forth. You need somebody different from that, who will tell you, who will walk you through all the steps, who will push you back onto the path every time you start getting lost off to the side of the path, and remind you where the path is and put you back on it. If you start walking the path, your honey is going to start walking the path right behind you, and you're going to get out of this together. But you've got to start with you. You cannot do anything about anything else except you. And you've got plenty to do, right? You're healing. You've got plenty of healing to work on right now, don't you? I think that you've got plenty to work on all by yourself without having to worry about their part of the healing. Okay? You work on your part in regulating your emotions, overcoming the fear that is trapping you, and starting to move forward. If you do that, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. All right. Let's see, questions. All right. So Kat was asking me about narcissist discard after months of abuse. Now, Kat, honestly, most of the women in this group, most of the women that I talk to are not actually dealing with a narcissist. You in your, I think I talked about this earlier today. Oopsie daisy. There we go. I think I talked about it a little bit earlier today. Somebody posted a video about how to deal with a narcissist. And wait. Oh, what happened? Oh, camera, come back on. No, not that camera. Weird. It changed my whole camera. All right. Let me go back. There we go. Huh. All right. Don't know what happened there. Okay. Anyway. Lord of mercy. Dropped the phone. Everything went wrong. All right. So I was talking to somebody and said they had posted a video that was saying how you deal with a narcissist. And most of the women that I deal with, most of the women that I coach are not actually dealing with a narcissist. If you are in the pain of this betrayal and you look at a list of symptoms of a person with narcissistic personality disorder, you will easily think that your mate has that. But that is too complex of a mental disorder for us to be diagnosing. Okay. And chances are you would have noticed things that were weird about them that you were like, way before now. You know, I talk to people and it's years in, they're like, oh, he's a narcissist. I'm like, you would have noticed that before now if he really was a narcissist. You would have had some clues besides him cheating that he's a narcissist, okay? They can't really hide it, right? So we cannot diagnose our mates. So if you are thinking that you have a narcissist and he has a diagnosis, if you are going through the real discard and he is just done with you and he is not messing with you anymore, go ahead and run. If you know for a fact that this person has this disorder, is not doing anything about it, not working on it, not working with a therapist, not trying out any medications, not doing anything to change the way that they are behaving, their negative traits as a narcissist, go ahead and run. If they have been abusing you, there's no need for you to go back to an abusive relationship, okay? If women say to me that they feel like they've been abused, I believe them. So if you believe that it was abuse, go ahead and leave him alone. If he has already left you alone, you leave him alone, go on with your life, and do not let him come back into it. But if he is not a narcissist, treating a regular person even regular people like us who have been hurt and traumatized and broken a little bit, treating them like a narcissist is not going to be good for the relationship. You are never going to be able to work things out. You're never going to get back together because you're treating them in a way that is extreme for an extreme mental condition. Okay. You are not going to heal treating them like they're a narcissist. So if you don't have a diagnosis, stop using that word. Seriously, you do not have the medical knowledge, you do not have the education to be able to diagnose somebody's mental disorder. You just do not have that. If they have the diagnosis and they're just said, no, I'm not dealing with you anymore, and you're not their supply anymore, you feel free to keep that distance. But if this is not how your mate has been diagnosed, and maybe they have something else, or you are just looking up stuff on the internet and applying that label to them, don't treat them like they're a narcissist. Okay, you will damage the relationship beyond repair trying to treat a normal person like they're a narcissist. Okay, because then that comes across as completely abusive. So I want you to stop believing automatically that they are narcissists if you do not have a defined diagnosis. They haven't been to the doctor. They haven't had any suspicion of this at all during their lifetime. They probably would have. Okay. Does that make sense? That is how I feel about that. I understand if they had left you alone and you really truly believe that you have been abused by them, go ahead and let that go. Consider yourself lucky. Be grateful for the fact that they lost interest and move on with your life. But if they don't have that diagnosis, you don't know that they're a narcissist. You just feel like, oh, they match up with the things that I saw on the internet. That is not good enough. Okay. And chances are you're wrong because it is a very rare disorder. And you will treat a normal person like a narcissist, which can be a little bit abusive. Okay. That is just how I feel about it. If you really feel like you were being abused, I do not want you to be abused. Okay. Most of the women that I talk to, even though they've been cheated on, are not saying that they feel like they've been abused. Even in that situation, in that terrible thing to have happened, most women are not saying, oh, well, he was just abusive to me. They're not saying that. So if you really truly feel like that he was abusive to you, that it is not a healthy situation to be in, be grateful that it's over and keep on pushing. But if he's not actually a narcissist and you're just making that as a label for him, you can, if he called it quits and he's not a narcissist, that just meant he was frustrated and hurting and felt like you didn't love him. That would be the only reason that would happen. So if you're still in contact with him and you feel safe enough, do the 180. Try the 180 steps. Not getting all wrapped up into him, but getting more into yourself and paying attention to what you need and what you need to do. If you do that and he starts to behave better, he's not a narcissist. Okay? Because you're taking attention off of them with the 180. And so if you take the attention off of them with the 180 and they start behaving better and they start wanting some attention from you, they'll leave you alone for a good little while because most men love to have that free time. But if all of a sudden they realize, hey, she hasn't been around, and they'll start being right in your face, he's probably not a narcissist. So try that out. That's how I feel about that. If you don't know that he's a narcissist, try the 180 and see if it changes his behavior. And then you'll know for sure if he's a narcissist or not. All right. Hope that makes sense. All right. Got any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything going on that you want me to talk about? I am here for you. Did I get another response from Kat? No, doesn't see another one from Kat. All right. Kat, you let me know if that made sense to you, all right? Let's see. Anything else? Oh, hey, Jody. Glad you're here. Hi, girl. You said, I just feel that since my husband did this because he felt unwanted and in pain after trauma to our family, that once we hit another patch or trauma, that he'll use this same excuse. And Joni, that is a possibility because people tend to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. The way to make that less likely to happen is going to be a little counterintuitive to you. It's going to be forgiving him. That is the way to make it less likely. To make it less likely that he will throw everything away because of pain and trauma, you actually giving your forgiveness is such a huge gift, such an incredible thing that he will be more careful the next time. That's what I have to say about that. Most of the time, actually forgiving the person that you love makes them want to do better for you. It doesn't make them want to go out and just have the green light to screw you over. That's not really how people work. Especially not somebody who's loved you for years, okay? Somebody that you've loved for years. More than likely, if you actually forgive them, they will take that into account on the next time that they are feeling that same amount of stress and trauma and pain. And they will say, well, wait, I don't want to mess this up though. Yeah, I'm going through it. Yes, I am. But this woman is amazing. And she gave me a gift that nobody else has ever given me. And I think that maybe I should do this differently. Just because I'm hurting doesn't mean that I should hurt her. It will make people think twice about harming you again if you actually forgive them for harming you the first time. Now, this is people that love you now, not just any old body out in the world. That's not a general rule for people, but somebody who loves you and you actually forgive them and you keep on moving forward with life with them and you show them that forgiveness and you open yourself back up again, they are not going to want you to close off again. They're not going to want that. They're going to do their very best not to have that happen again. My husband still says to me, he was like, I wish I never cheated on you. He was like, I just never want to see you cry like that again. I just don't ever want to be the reason that you cry like that again. That's what it was, because he didn't want to hurt me anymore. I was so forgiving of him, so loving of him, allowed so much to have happen. And still, even when I'm mad at him, even when I was mad at him, still showing that same love, showing that same forgiveness made him act better. So that is my key about that. If you are worried about the same thing happening again, do not just live in the pain, live in the fear. You treat somebody like you're afraid of them, they're going to act like somebody you should be afraid of. Does that make sense to you? And that's stressful to think about actually forgiving them, but you're still here anyway, so you might as well forgive them. Like, what are you waiting for to actually do that? You love this person, you want to forgive, and your brain keeps coming up with reasons for you not to, but you keep fighting against that. So just accept that about yourself. Accept that you do want to forgive him and expect that he will do better the next time. Does that make sense? Hope it makes sense to you, Joni. Let me know. All right. Any other questions? Anybody else got any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Anything else going on in your lives you want to chat with me about? Let me see. I think I had another question. What was a question that I had? Okay. Oh, it was about separation. Okay. All right. I'll end with this because let me just tell you my feelings upon separation. Okay. I don't think if you are going to heal and reconcile and actually want things to work out, that you should go for separation. I don't think so. I don't think that it works. I don't feel like that is something that actually leads to better, stronger relationships. Most of the time, when people say that they're going to separate, both people end up seeing other people. All right. It's not really actually even working on yourself, working on the relationship. More than likely, you're going to go off and see other people because you're free now and you want to show him how it feels. And he's off trying to deal with whoever he's trying to deal with, not working on his own crap either. I just don't think that it works. I think if you got to start how you want to finish. And if you start off with being apart, that's how you're going to finish. I don't feel like that's a great idea to do. So if you are looking at separation, you're like, well, maybe if we separate, we'll actually care about each other more. Come on back a little bit, couple steps back, and do the 180. If you've got the wherewithal to actually separate, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people have like a separation where we're still living in the same house, we're still sleeping in the same bed, but technically we're not together. All of that, the technicalities, we don't need any of that. Okay, I want you to just live together. Don't put any labels on it saying that you're not together, and do the 180. All right. It's in the group. All you need to do, click on the little looking glass and do 180 in the search, and you will find it. It's in here several times. Do the steps of the 180. It is more of a turning the attention to yourself instead of focusing it so much on them. And as you do that, that freaks them out a little bit because they're like, well, wait a minute, because she's always so interested in me and now she's not interested in me. So then that makes them look at you twice. But it is focusing that energy away from where you feel like it is being drained out of you, you don't have a lot of hope, and just putting that more on yourself, focusing on yourself, paying attention to the things that you love and want to do, not talking about the relationship, not trying to push it, just being, just existing, carrying on with your life, doing the things in your life that you want to do, but not constantly interacting, constantly trying to talk about it. If you always asking questions, don't ask any questions. There's a lot of good ones in the 180. So I want you to do that instead. If you're thinking about separation, don't. All right. Separation doesn't work. You are probably going to end up divorced. And if that's not what you want, again, don't start how you don't want to finish. If you don't want to be apart, don't start off apart. Does that make sense? I know that a lot of people feel so overwhelmed by the feelings that it seems like you can't do anything but leave. But in that case, I want you to remember the fact that you are a grown woman. All right. You have lots of rights. You have the ability to decide what you want to do. You are not painted in any corners. Okay. You are not trapped anywhere. You don't have to do a damn thing. Okay. Don't get it in your brain that I have to separate. I have to leave. I have to pull away. That is another trauma response. Okay. It's another one. It's another way that our brains fool us and try and make us isolate ourselves and separate, put that wall up between us and another person. So if you do that, you are doing what your brain wants you to. You are doing what the trauma reaction wants you to do. And the more you do that, the worse it gets. The more strong that trauma response gets. It's just the same as phobias. You can get a phobia by telling yourself you're afraid of something and then following through with being afraid of it. And then it grows from there. I used to work in a psychiatric facility, and a lady was telling me that she had a fear grow from got into a car accident. Okay, it went from okay, I slowed way down, and then I stopped driving because the fear got bigger. And then I was just riding with other people, but then I stopped riding with other people because the fear had gotten bigger. And then I just started to walk to places that were closest to my house. I didn't get in any cars anymore, but the fear got bigger. And then I couldn't leave my damn house. All right. The fear grows. If you feed it, it grows faster, it grows bigger, and it grows much more vicious. So if you are allowing that fear to live and fester and just infest your life, you are going to continue to get more fear. You've got to put that down. You have got to stop that. You have got to decide that you want good, positive things to happen and focus on making those good, positive things happen. All right. Does that make sense? It's stressful. It really is. It's a stressful situation. You feel like you're trapped. You feel like you can't do anything other than just leave, but you always have a choice. You are not painted into any corners. You are not trapped. You have the choice of what you're going to do moving forward. And if it is being together, then you need to work on the factors of being together. If we're going to be a healed, happy couple, we got to start acting like a healed, happy couple. We can't be talking about the misery all the time, reminding him of how bad he messed up on a day-to-day basis if we want the healed, happy relationship. That's not what healed, happy people do. Healed, happy people do not sit around talking about bad things that happen to them all day long. That is not what it is. So you've got to make the decision and you've got to follow through with the decision to go ahead and start that healing process. When you start the process, it will be very fast, okay? Follow my dreams guide. Go ahead and get that guide. Follow the steps of the dreams formula. It will be fast. It will be amazing how much changes in a very short amount of time. Doing the 180 or following the dreams formula or both. Either way, it is going to start working fast. You are going to start getting results fast. It is not going to be just, oh, I'm stuck in the same place anymore. You are going to be moving. And moving out of the pain is always a good thing. It does not matter where we're moving to as long as we're not in pain anymore. All right. All right. Anybody got any questions about that? Anybody thinking about separating? Anybody separated and came right back? That's what happens a lot of times. People separate and then they end up right back together. They never worked out any of the stuff. They just came back together because they didn't want to be apart in the first place. And then they're looking at each other like, did you change? Well, I didn't change. Did you change? And then it gets worse from there. So instead of that, start working on your own changes. And then you're not so worried about their changes. You're changing things and things change around you when you change things. That's just how that works. If you are changing, the things around you are going to change too because you're not being the same. So those things by extension are not going to be the same. All right. All right, y'all. Coming up to the end now. Any other questions? Anything else? I think that's about it. So what I normally do is give you one last piece of advice about things you can do all on your own to start your healing, okay? And I want you to do this one today, this week. Start on it, okay? You can go on Amazon and get some cards for your affirmations. You can make up your affirmations. You can Google your affirmations. Just do them, okay? I don't care where you get them from. Just go ahead and do them, okay? We need to be consistent with that because another trauma response, our brains tell us that we're horrible. Our brains tell us that we're stupid, that we're naive, that we're just doormats, that we're allowing somebody to abuse and make us miserable. It is a trauma response. It is your brain trying to make you isolate. Remember, that's word of the day. Isolate from your honey and be alone so bad things don't happen to you. All right. Again, not even possible to do. You cannot hide away and have no bad things happening to you because hiding away and having nobody around is a bad thing happening to you. So it does not matter what your brain is feeding you about that. It is not keeping you safer. It is not making you happier. telling you all these negative things, but it believes that it is. It keeps saying the same stuff over and over again, trying to get you to isolate, trying to get you to agree not to be around your honey anymore. All right. So if you do your affirmations, sit down, look yourself in the eye, wherever you may be, in front of a mirror, in front of your camera, anywhere, and really believe it. Say it like you mean it with all your heart. Okay? Say it like it is the most true thing you've ever spoken. Say it like you're trying to tell your best friend and you want them to believe you. Okay? Looking yourself in the eye when you do it, you will have a recording of your brain reminding you how much you value you. And if you have that recording in your brain and your brain starts telling you negative things, that's a conflict. Your brain has to acknowledge that. But wait, she said that we were wonderful. And maybe we're not so terrible. Maybe we're not so naive and foolish. Maybe we're not. It makes your brain reconsider the negative things that it's saying about you. So, give you a affirmation for this week. Use it freely as you will. This one says, today I trust myself. Today I know that I will make the right decisions to maintain a happy and healthy life. Woo, girl, it's that a mouthful. I seem to pick the right one every week. Today I trust myself. Today I know that I will make the right decisions to maintain a happy and healthy life. And let me tell you, you cannot maintain a happy and healthy life making decisions that are fearful and destructive. You can't do it. The things that your brain screams at you to do are not the things that are going to make this relationship work. They're not going to get you any happier. They're not going to get you any closer. It is all a trauma response to get you to isolate, back away, not be close. And so if you do that, if you follow what your brain is telling you right now, you're going to be alone. You're going to be sad about it because that's not what you wanted. If you want to be alone, more power to you. I am fully for people feeling like they don't need to be with somebody else to be fulfilled in their lives. You do you, boo. But I'm saying for the women that I know, I'm saying for myself personally, I wanted this love. I wanted this connection. And if you want it, you can have it. You just got to go ahead and accept it. You got to go ahead and let yourself be open to it. So today I trust myself to be open to it. I trust my own judgment. I trust that I am not stupid and I know that this person loves me and I love them. Like I trust myself day to day. I'm going to make the right decisions. I'm going to have the happy, healthy life that I want to have. Behave like that happy, healthy person, and I'm going to get that life. All right? All righty, y'all. That's it. Oh, thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. Don't see any other questions. Thank y'all for joining me. I love to sit here and talk to you all. This is an honor, a privilege. I am so glad that I'm at my point in my journey that I get to come and be the light for you and guide you onto the path. It makes me happy. I didn't have anybody to guide me onto the path. I had to figure all this stuff out on my own. I had to figure out the dreams formula on my own. I had to figure out all of the things all by myself. And it sucked. Okay. So I love being able to talk to you all and tell you and shine the light on the path and say, over here, and help you get on it. It makes me so happy that I'm capable of doing that and inspiring you to heal and reconcile in bigger and better ways from my own pain. I went through the exact same pain that you've been through, and I made something better out of it. I get to teach you because I experienced that pain. All right, it was worth it. I always wanted it to be worth it. I was like, man, all this pain better be worth it in the end. And damned if it wasn't. It really was. everything that I went through now gets to be a lesson, gets to be something that I get to tell you in order for you to come up out of the deep, dark woods too. I feel really privileged that I get to do that. Even though it took pain to get there, I'm happy that I get to be the one to do that for you. Alrighty, y'all. That's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I will be back again next week, of course, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Until then, do your deep breathing, do your journaling, be grateful, write those things down. Don't ask all those damn questions and do your affirmations, okay? You have plenty to do to start your own healing without having to worry about his part in your healing. So if you are still hurting, work on those things, start down the healing path, and he'll join you, okay? All right, y'all. That's it. Thanks so much. I will see you again next week. Bye to you over on Instagram. And bye over here on Facebook and YouTube. Bye.